Hello. So, today I'm not quite sure what I'm going to talk about, but this is another step into exploring the vlog, and I have my setup, gradually getting used to it. My secret random word generator or topic generator suggested to me that I talk about margins today. Sort of things that you have in exercise books, ruled down the left, because typically we write from left to right in Western economies, the world, and yeah. So one draws a margin, and then in the margin one can make little notes, perhaps numbered lists, put the numbers in the margin, all that sort of thing. And it's a funny word, talk about a margin of error. Well, I suppose that means that little bit of space the side of the world of space that you're talking about, the side of the stage, where in that margin you can make an error and nobody will see. No one will be able to discover it. It will be a secret, perhaps. Now, I never thought I would get to secrets from margins, but it's very difficult to know where you're going to get to when you start doing this sort of thing. I'm just noodling on the piano here, not doing anything much at all of any interest, as you probably have gathered. In fact, it's rather boring. One of these days, when I get a bit more confident, I will perhaps play you a song while I am vlogging, so I could become a singing vlogger. A singing vlogger, how about that? That would be good. I think last time, in the last vlog, I talked about when I started work down on the Cliff Quay in Ipswich it was called. And I talked about steel, didn't I? I think I did. How we don't make much steel in England anymore. And I once lived in a steel town, Sheffield. Sheffield cutlery was the envy of the world at one time. And they were still making steel when I lived in Sheffield. I went there in 1973, left in 76, and I lived in a small terraced house which was actually a condemned property. It was due to be pulled down in about 3 or 4 years' time from when I managed to get hold of it. So I got very cheap to rent. It had an outside toilet, a netty as they used to call it, and it got very cold in the winter, I can tell you. In the winter we had to revert to that old sort of Victorian Edwardian custom of having a chamber pot in our rooms, so that we didn't have to cross over this icy, windy backyard to the netty. And in the outside loo, which was just a brick wall around the toilet, really, you couldn't call it a room. I don't think there was a roof on it, or it wasn't fully covered, I don't think. And, oh, there must have been a roof, I think. Yeah, sort of roof. Anyway, we had to keep a night light burning, a night candle burning there in the winter. Otherwise, everything would freeze up. Sheffield was a very cold place in the winter, and that's partly because it's very inland. And where I live at the moment is by the sea. And of course, the advantage of the sea, being near the sea in England, well, in the UK, is that you benefit from the Gulf Stream, and the sea keeps you warm. The landmass doesn't get as cold as it would if it wasn't close to the sea. So that's why I think, in my view, inland cities like Sheffield are freezing in winter. I do feel the cold a lot. I've recently invested in a lot of winter thermal wear, and I have a very good coat now. I mean, that is a stormproof coat, really. So I am pretty much better than I had been in the past about all that. But oh, you may be wondering why I'm wearing my hat. Well, the reason why I'm wearing my hat is a technical reason relating to vlogging. You see, from my early experiments, I've noticed that the software that I use for my vlogging, in order to convert this film, which goes into the camera, you see, then that has to be converted into an MP4, which you can upload to places like YouTube, which I do. Well, what I've found is, a bit of a strange chord there, by the way. What I found is that it tends to look as though the wind is blowing through my hair. And of course, I'm indoors, so it's not. And I think that's where my hair, comes into contact with the green screen, visually. And so what I'm doing today is experimenting, wearing my cap, my light-coloured cap, and I'm going to see then if there's any problem. And if not, I should probably continue to vlog with cap. I shall cease to be a capless vlogger. Can you imagine it? Such a thing, a capless vlogger in this day and age. My goodness. What will there be next? I think it is time for me to end this little blog, my dear blogophiles. It is time for me to say goodbye, adieu, farewell, until the next time. I'll be seeing you.